Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to build a lookup API using N8N, quickly and easily, just like using drag and drop. We'll also create an API using the more traditional method, writing code with the help of AI inside the code editor. In just a few minutes, you can build something that can generate thousands of dollars. Many people have great ideas, but unfortunately, they never use them. So today, we'll build an API step by step and show you how you can sell it. Method 1. Using N8N with N8N, you have two options. Using your own service by adding an internal N8N node. Using an external API provider. Here is the final structure of the API we will build. If we go to RapidAPI, we can also check competitors and see whether your API has demand in the market. Option 1. Using N8N nodes GOIP. This does not require any external services. Option 2. Using an external service, such as ipapi.co. We will test both options. Disabling one of the webhook triggers is only required if both workflows use the same path or endpoint. Testing with Postman. Postman allows us to test API webhook requests. Make sure you select the correct request method, post or get. In the settings, enable allow multiple HTTP methods if you want your API to accept both get and post. When you click Send and Receive 200 OK, it means everything worked. This is the response for option 1. Testing option 2. Now let's disable the webhook trigger for the first option and enable it for the second one. We'll use the same HTTP methods. Click Send, and this is the response for option 2. Building a new workflow from scratch. Let's create everything from the beginning. Go to N8N Settings, Community Nodes tab, click Install. Community Nodes install N8N Nodes GOIP. Now go to Workflows. Start from scratch. Add a manual trigger for testing. Add an execute command node. Type NSLOOKUP followed by any domain. Connected to the execute command. This will extract its IP. Next, add a code, JavaScript node. This will filter and format the output into proper JSON. We'll use Claude.ai to generate the code. Write a professional prompt clearly describing what you want. Copy the generated code and paste it into the code node. Click Execute Step to test it. As you can see, the results are now clean and ready to use in the response. Now add the GeoIP node. Select location, and for the input IP, drag and drop the extracted IP from the code node. This will be the final response structure. Next, delete the manual trigger and replace it with a webhook trigger node. In its settings, enable allow multiple HTTP methods if you need GET and POST. In the path field, enter your endpoint name. In the drop-down, choose Using Respond to Webhook node so the response appears at the end of the workflow. Add a Respond to Webhook node, set all incoming items. Response code 200. Click Save, then switch the workflow to Active. Copy the production URL from the webhook trigger. Now go to Postman and test it. These results come from Google because we used ns-lookup-google.com in the execute command node. Let's make this value dynamic. API can now accept the domain from params, query, or body. Test again in Postman. Add key, domain value, ofclog.com. It returns domain data. Change value to google.com and you'll get Google's IP, location info, and more. Method 2, using an external API. Now let's build another API using an external provider. Add a webhook trigger node. Set your endpoint. Select Using Respond to Webhook node. Add an execute command, type in lookup in the domain. Copy and paste the same code node from option 1. Add an HTTP request node. Choose the provider. For example, https ipapi.co, rchar or JSON primary IP, hchar JSON. Make sure there are no spaces. Remember, each provider has monthly request limits. Add a respond to webhook node, set all incoming items, and response code 200. Copy the production URL again and test in Postman. We got a 404 error because the method wasn't post. So enable allow multiple HTTP methods for get plus post. Try again. Another error. Check the Executions tab to see which node failed. Remove the extra double curly brackets. Save changes and test again. Great. Now it works. The response is similar to option 1, but it also includes ASN information. Now let's delete the external API nodes. Adding ASN to option 1. To add ASN support to our first workflow, add another GeoIP node. This time select ASN instead of location. Add a merge node to combine location plus ASN into a single response. Now we're moving on to method 2, building an API using an AI agent inside a code editor. First, prepare a professional prompt describing the exact API you want to build. In my case, I'm using the same idea we created earlier with N8N. Here's the finished prompt. Go to any code editor that supports an AI agent. Paste the prompt into the chat and wait a few minutes. Your API will be generated automatically. Next, open your .env file and add any external MongoDB provider, such as MongoDB Atlas or any other service. Copy your MongoDB connection string and paste it into the .env file. Important: never share your .env file or any of the values inside it. After the API finishes generating, open the README file to review how it was built. I'll test the API using Postman as well. Great. 200 OK. Honestly, I didn't expect results this impressive. The current response time is 161 milliseconds, which means this API is extremely fast. That's the power of caching. I also protected the API using an authorization bearer token. Use the same token stored inside your .env file. This shown value is only for testing. When you move to production, generate a brand new secure token using any password generator tool and add it to your environment variables. This keeps your API safe. After testing the API in development, let's move to production. The first step is to pull the project from GitHub. Here is the API project on GitHub. It's a backend built with Express.js and uses a MongoDB database. There are many platforms you can use to deploy backends, such as render.com, Heroku, and others. When deploying any API, you must add your environment variables on the hosting platform. Otherwise, the API will fail because it cannot connect to MongoDB. I wanted to emphasize this point to help you avoid deployment errors. Perfect. After deployment, the API is now fully live in production. I'll test the final production version using Postman before listing it for sale on RapidAPI. Great. The result is perfect, and it works with authorization. We're done building. Now let's move on to the final step, selling the API. Listing and selling the API on RapidAPI. Go to RapidAPI and we'll publish the API we just created. In the Studio tab, click Add API Project. Choose a name, write a short description, pick a category, and click Add API Project again. At this stage, upload an icon if you have one, and add a longer description. One of the most important fields is the base URL. Go back to N8N, copy your production URL, but exclude the endpoint name. Only the base path should be used. Paste it into the production URL field. In the health check section, create a new webhook trigger in N8N. copy the path, and paste it into the ping field. This enables email alerts if your API ever goes down. Next, go to the Definitions tab and create a new REST endpoint. Give it a name and description. Make sure the HTTP method matches the one used in your webhook node and use the same endpoint path. Click Save, then let's test the API. Click View in Hub. Go to your endpoint. If you see app n/a, you need to create an application first. Go to Applications. Click Add New App. Add a name and short description. Return to your API page and refresh. Click Test Endpoint. If you get 200 OK, your API is working properly. Now let's continue. Go to the Gateway tab. Security Setup, open the Authorization tab to secure your API. Create a new key named Authorization and set a secure value. Add bearer, followed by a space. You can generate the token using any password generator. Next, return to the webhook node in N8N and add the same key and value. In the Authentication section, select Header Auth, create new credentials, and enter the same token value. Don't forget the bearer prefix. Test the API again using the new secure headers. If you get 200, congratulations. Your API is now live, secure, and ready to sell. We've now finished covering the publishing method for the API created with N8N, publishing the Express.js API, built with the AI agent. Now let's do the same process quickly for the Express.js API that the AI agent generated. Test the endpoint. Great, 200 OK. Copy the JSON response and add it as the example for the endpoint definition. Next, go to the Docs tab where you can add full API documentation. Finally, go to the Monetize tab and set your pricing plans and monthly request limits for each subscription tier. One last important step. Go to the General tab. Under Visibility, switch your API to public. And that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. We started with N8N, built 2 complete APIs, optimized them, secured them, deployed them to production, and finally published and monetized them on RapidAPI. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials just like this one. Feel free to share your questions or the APIs you build in the comments. I'd love to check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.